The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily express those of W Rock Radio and its sponsors. All shows are independently owned and broadcast for entertainment purposes only. Readers and listeners are advised that neither W Rock Radio nor its owners and agents shall be held liable for the content of programs. Website content and any audio produced and streamed by W Rock Radio is protected copyright and may not be recorded, rebroadcast, redistributed, or reused without express written permission from W Rock Radio.
Welcome to Abstract Illusions Radio with host Jennifer Hillman. The show explores and reveals the human potential through creativity. So enjoy the show to create a life you love.
Hello everyone, this is Jennifer Hillman, and I am really pleased and honored to have the owner of WLOR.net, W Rock Radio, Sherri Emily. She is one heck of a busy lady. She is an inspiration for multitasking. She is a radio host for, let's see, 5 shows. The host or the producer. She also is the editor and the graphic designer for 3 different magazines. So I just wanted to catch up with her. She's been on before for poetry and a few other projects she's been doing. And I catch up with her and find out what she's got going for 2016. Hello, Sherri. How are you doing?
Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you for taking the time, because I know you're just always working. And
Yes.
you are amazing, that you're
Thanks.
still standing. And I wanted to talk about your some of your radio shows and the magazines that you're doing, and anything else that you're going on, and plans for, or what the public can be looking forward to. So where area do you want to go first?
Well, we can start with the radio station if you'd like.
Okay. Um,
Right?
you are the producer of Ghost Stories. You are the host of Independent Music Spotlight,
Yes.
Circle of Music, W Rock 1980, and Speaker Box.
Yes, ma'am. They're wonderful shows. I enjoy doing them. It's getting busy, so there may be some shows that might be coming off the platform, but we have some awesome, great new shows coming in. We have Formula One coming in, Disney Channel coming in. We've already had a bunch of great new shows coming in from all around the globe, so we're doing pretty good. W Rock is rocking on.
Yes, it definitely is. Now, let's talk about a couple of these shows, like the Independent Music Spotlight. I was blessed by being a substitute host for you once, and it was great to be a part of that, since I'm very supportive of the independent music industry. What are you looking for, or what is the basis of the show? What do you focus on?
We promote independent artists from all over the globe, just like many other, indie shows that are probably out there doing the same thing. We look for people that are definitely are driven, are goal oriented, that truly want to try and make it in the music business.
Um, and it's fun. The guests I had on were just wonderful, and they definitely are driven. Now, the Circle Music, what is that about?
That's just a music show. It's 2 hours of no commercials, music show from 1940s to the 1990s.
And how do you select your music for that show? Is it just do you use a theme for it, or do you just say, I feel like playing this?
Yep, that's it. I have a lot of favorites from all years, in all genres, honestly. So I just play a little bit of everything, and it seems to be working because it's always in the top 10 charts. So
Um, do you take requests?
yes, we do, or yes, I do, not we. Yes, I do.
Well, you and the radio station. Um,
Yes.
and is there a favorite frame for you? Do you have music? I mean, all of that whole
Uh,
decades are great,
yes,
but
actually, the 60s and 80s.
great
They're
time
my
frame.
favorites. But I really like the 40s, and I like them all. I mean, I didn't grow up in the 40s or the 50s, but my mom did and my grandparents did. So I mean, my whole family is very music oriented, and I grew up with nothing but music practically. So I know a lot of genres and a lot of years. But yeah, I would have to say my favorite is 60s and 80s.
And who are some of your favorite artists?
Oh my, Madonna, Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, the Eagles. Yeah, see, I'm getting back in those genres.
And what about the 60s?
The Four Seasons, Smokey Robinson, Deep Purple.
R&B.
I like everything. Back in the 40s, I actually in 50s I like Frank Sinatra. I love the Beatles. They're my one of my top favorites, and Elvis Presley. That's my main man, don't you know?
Of course, especially
Yes,
in Tennessee.
and that's
Um, you gotta like Elvis in Tennessee.
yes, ma'am. And a lot of people do. There's big, huge billboards of Elvis Presley when you get towards Memphis and
Hmm.
when you're driving into Tennessee, you'll see these big, huge billboards of these really awesome Elvis Presley pictures and stuff. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's and those eras are just phenomenal music during that time.
Yes, ma'am.
I was raised by my parents were really into folk, and then I had my brother, which was hard metal and like Led Zeppelin and all those kind of bands. And then my
Well, I
sister,
like that too. That's the thing.
it's just, and it's, I would just have a field day. So if you ever look for a host for those, let me know.
Oh gosh.
Because I would have a field day.
And I thank you for being a part of Indie Music Spotlight when you were. I appreciated that. We had a good,
I
we'll have to do it again sometime.
definitely. Now, W Rock 1980s, it's the 80s.
Strictly.
And tons of great music during that decade.
Yes, ma'am. Tons and tons. I'll do like one week I'll do dinner, like dinner 1980s, and the next week I'll do romantic 1980s. And then the next week that I'll do like hip hop 1980s. So I just kind of switch it off.
And is that also 2 hours or just 1 hour?
That one is 3 hours.
Wow.
Three
Okay.
hour
And
show.
we I guess we should put say when these shows are on for the main section since they probably are in the stream as well. So Indie Music Spotlight is on when?
That's on Thursday nights. Tonight actually at 7 p.m.
Eastern time, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we have Madeline Victoria as a guest tonight, and she's
Oh,
amazing
awesome.
young
She
singer.
is.
Yeah.
Um, Circle of Music.
Let me
Circle of
see.
Music.
Now I'm going to have to go to my schedule. Let me get to the schedule real quick, and that way I can tell you all the shows. Okay, Circle of Music is, I think it's Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. to midnight. And then W Rock 1980s is Sundays from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern.
And Speaker Box?
Speaker Box is Fridays, and that is the old time drama. Groucho Marx, The Avenger, Twilight Zone, Superman, all that kind of stuff. Radio theater is what it is. And that's at Friday 10 to 11 for an hour.
That's awesome. Now, when you started this radio station, what was your ultimate goal with it? I mean, why did you decide to do this in the first place?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yes,
Because somebody told me I couldn't.
that is the best reason to do it. I love a person who takes on a challenge.
Honestly, somebody told me I couldn't do it. And then I was on another radio station, which I won't mention, but I got reamed, charged an arm and a leg for a show. I brought them thousands and thousands of listeners with true ghost stories, brought up their clientele, and the following year they wanted to double charge me to have me on their radio station. I'm like, you're kidding me, really? So and then I wanted to go, and then I got an offer for syndication, and that radio station that I was with at the time was telling me that I could not syndicate. that my show had to be an exclusive on their radio station, and I'm like, I don't think so. So it was just, a matter of conflict of interest, I guess, with that radio station. And the person that wanted to syndicate me actually offered me my own radio station. And I was amazed. I couldn't believe it. He believed in me, thought I could do it, and here we are.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
also to help others, have a platform to go to that's not going to cost them $2,500 or $5,000 a year to be able to produce their shows.
And we thank you.
You're very welcome.
I feel so blessed to be a part of this family. It feels like home. It just feels so right to be a part of W Rock and be associated with you because of your integrity
Thank
with
you.
it. And really, thank you so very much. Now, it's speaking of true ghost stories, big news there.
Yes, ma'am. Huge. We are going national television, True Ghost Stories TV series.
And when is that starting and what channel?
Probably in the next couple weeks, and it's going to be on multiple Tier 1 channels. I cannot disclose those channels at this time because they are doing their promotional trailer and stuff, but maybe next time.
So I congratulate you.
Yes.
You were thinking of just, I guess eventually, I thought at first, it's just going to be radio syndication and now it's TV. That's got to be, you think big, dream big, and it really does happen. If you just trust in yourself and keep moving forward.
Just have drive. Reach your goals. Go for your goals. If there's something you really, really want, you can make it happen.
And it will. It's just incredible. So let's move over to the magazines. Now
Okay?
there's Rock On Music, On Air Music. I mean On Air.
Rock On Magazine, On Air Magazine, and then True Ghost Stories Magazine. They're entertainment magazines, is what they are. Well, True Ghost Stories, obviously, that's self-explanatory.
Yes.
That's for anybody that does not want to be filmed or interviewed on the radio. They can send in their stories and we'll publish it in their magazines.
And if they do want to send in their stories,
They
who do
can
they?
send Sherri, Sherri, dot Emily, Emily, at gmail.com.
Let's make sure that because I was also on that program sharing some of my ghost stories,
Yes.
and it was a lot of fun.
You need to come back and do it again.
I would love to.
New
I,
year.
I would love to
You
because
got
I,
more
I
fans?
actually I actually have a ghost in my house now, trying to figure out what he's up to.
Oh my, oh my. Take some photos. Just
Oh,
snapshots all over the place. See what you get.
it's he's a slippery little sucker. I think it's my dad.
Oh,
Um,
well, maybe so. That's possible.
well, yeah, it was 4 years in December that he passed, and that's when things started happening. So
Oh. Well,
he's
maybe he had his time to do what he needed to do, and now he's here to visit his daughter.
well, he's playing hide and seek with things. Not sure I really like that, Dad. Anyway, so
Keep you exercised.
definitely keeps me in tune. It's like, okay, just talk to me. So, the other ones are more focused on the music industry or just overall entertainment.
Overall entertainment, yes. Music, there's all kinds of things. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle magazine, is what it is. Both of them.
Now, the Rock On, isn't that more music?
Rock On does have a lot more music into it, yes, ma'am.
Okay, because
Don't
the
mention
on air, I flipped through it and it's just like it really does have a variety of subjects and it really is a lifestyle and you do a great job with the graphics and
Thank-
the editing and stuff. So, um, do you take submissions from other people or are you strictly in-house with those?
Well, that Jerry Gallagher is the founder of those two magazines. So if anybody wants to submit any kind of stories to the magazines, via entertainment, lifestyle, whatnot, you would have to reach out to Jerry Gallagher.
I'll have Gary on sometime and that will be a lot of fun. Um,
That would be nice. He'd probably like that.
Well, I mean, if
Since he
anybody,
is also my partner and CEO of W Rock Radio.
and if there's anybody who is for the creative human potential, it would be Gary.
Yes, definitely.
He really is quite a force in the music industry and the entertainment industry for many, many years. And I look at his post and just go, wow, he really is something.
Yes, ma'am. He sure is. He's been in the biz for a long, long time. He's driven as well. He's goal oriented. He knows what he wants and he goes for it. And I respect that.
Yes, you have to respect somebody who sees a goal and obtains it constantly.
That's right.
So for Sherry, what for you? Um, you've got also some other things going on, landlord and all that stuff. But
Yes, ma'am.
what kind of things are you hoping for you? I mean, is there something else you want to put on your plate? Like you really have time?
I want a farm. I want a ranch. I want to have it built and I want to retire and be beautiful in the beautiful country and ride horses and write poetry and everything else.
So,
And
are you still writing a lot of poetry in
no,
between
ma'am,
time?
actually, I haven't had the time to write. I have written two songs in the past year, but I haven't had much time to do my own writing to sit down and write. No, ma'am.
Are you planning to write an album and produce and
I'm wanting to. My brother Ronnie is working on one of my songs at this time. I had an offer from a music producer for another one of my songs, but at this time we're still kind of talking about the kind of music he wants to put to it. I have a certain vision and, they have a certain vision. You know how that is.
oh yeah,
So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm still taking singing lessons.
of course you are. Now, of all your radio programs, do you have a favorite? One that you really enjoy doing more than the others? Or are they all pretty, they're all your kids, they're all your babies, and you love them all?
I love them all, but I do have a favorite, and that would be True Ghost Stories. Because it's my very first show I ever produced. So, and it's been around a long time and it's doing so wonderfully. And I like that there's a lot of unity, not only unity worldwide, but paranormal unity is within True Ghost Stories as well, because, you know, the TV series, we'll go back to that real quick. All of the shows are going to be surrounded from things from all over around the world, different teams from around the world, different places to investigate, all kinds of history. It's going to be very educational. So I would have to say True Ghost Stories out of all of them.
And what year did you start that program?
In 2012.
So I can't even imagine how many shows, how many programs you've done.
A lot. We're in season 4 now for the radio show.
And that, it's really special when you start something and you see it grow. And it's like this program. It started in 2007, and it has grown so much since the move to WLOR.net and WROCK. And it feels good to know that I'm helping artists of many potentials get their stuff out there and see them grow. And that's why I really feel very blessed to be part of it.
Thank you, and we're blessed to have you, Jennifer.
Um, so, is there any major changes happening to any of these? I mean, I know in Speaker Box, you every once in a while you do an independent script
Yes,
and and produce that. Are you going to be doing more of those?
well, we need writers.
Okay,
But we
that's
would love to. Yes, we would love to do some more radio theaters, new ones, but we need more writers. And I'm not sure if Kip is if he's available yet to do part 2 of the Road to Fenderville, but I do know that he has written it, but I know he's been very busy also with his agendas, things he does on the side, his career.
that's there's another multitasker.
Yes, for sure. He's always busy.
Because I know that was pretty successful, the first one.
It did very well, yes, ma'am.
Um, so with all of these programs, um, do you feel that this is really important, especially in 2016, self-expression and embracing the music and the talent in the creative fields?
I do. And you want to know the main reason why I do is because I see all the time, all over the place, that they're trying to take art out of the elementary schools.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. I think art is helps you use your creative mind, dexterity, thinking, logic,
Mm-hmm.
um, ideas, dreams. To me, being creative and being artistic, even in writing, singing, music, in any kind of artistic manner, should not be taken away from the schools. So if they're going to be taken away from the schools, why not help the world and bring in more creativity shows that people like to enjoy and listen to? You know, because there's a lot of things being taken away from our children now, and the only way they're going to get it is probably through the internet.
Through the internet and independent people within their own
Yes,
communities taking a stand. And I agree with you. Imagination is used by both sides of the brain, and it just helps you expand the possibilities. And as one of the five agreements, it is question everything. So if you have an imagination, it shows you all the different perspectives and all the creative ways you can problem solve. So it's using your imagination is part of science as well as the creative aspect. It's really using the full potential of the human mind.
yes, ma'am. I absolutely agree with you.
So I applaud you on that.
Thank you.
It's really an interesting time for starting a radio station. Are you concerned with the government regulating more so the internet?
Yes, a little, but as long as I pay all my fees legally, we're good.
And that's really it. It's an interesting time with the internet and censorship and all the different things that are being postponed, put out there right now by people. Do you worry about censorship?
Not really. No, ma'am, I really don't. The reason why, because we monitor all shows that come onto W Rock Radio, and some, if they shouldn't be, we have some adult shows that should not be on a internet radio station. Some of them can be pretty bad. So the hours have to be regulated if they're adults. You know, I think that as long as we're covered with all our copyrights, all your fees are paid, you really don't have to worry. And if someone really wants to produce a radio show, I would say go for it, as long as you follow all the regulations.
And that's the thing right now is making sure everybody knows what can and can't be done, and crossing your T's and dotting your I's, and understanding that we're all a human being and we all can learn to appreciate each other and our talents. And it doesn't need to be aggressive or negative to really cross that line. So, what kind of wisdom would you like to share with the audience?
Well, I have a little poem that I wrote for a long time ago, if you want to hear it real quick.
I Please.
It's called I Have Learned. I wrote it back in 2003. Wow, that's old. But it's very popular, so I will read it. I have learned not to blame others for my pain. I have learned that it is my choices that put me in my life's positions. I have learned I am responsible for my actions. I have learned when I hurt someone, an apology goes a long way. I have learned that I must forgive others even though I know it may cause an emotional struggle. I have learned not to punish myself or others for human mistakes. I have learned that I am important. I have learned that guilt can be healthy. It can show us what needs to be changed in our lives. I have learned that peace, comfort, understanding, joy, and love is what I should bestow upon others, for that is what is bestowed upon me. I have learned if I get beat up My life's journey, it isn't more than what Jesus went through. I have learned God is using my experiences to change me, mold me, and shape me, so I'll be ready to spend eternity with Him. I have learned I need an eternal purpose. I have learned I am a person of value. I have learned that I am special. I have learned that life is hard, but God is good. The end.
And with that, I thank you very much, Sherri Emily, for your time and the blessing of everything you do for the creative community and for humanity. Um, I truly thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me, Jennifer. I truly appreciate you having me, and it's been nice. I thought I'd be a little bit more nervous, but I'm not.
Well, I try my best to make everybody feel comfortable. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you have a great night, and the rest of the night, you have a great show.
thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, honey.
We will be right back after this short break.